Hi everyone. Our group will talk about the movie Dead Poet Society. And this movie directed by Peter Weir and released in 1989 is based on a true story set in 1959, and it is a drama movie about a strict school called Welton Academy. A new teacher named John Keating comes and teach the boys to think for themselves and to find their own voice. Today we will talk about the story, the main ideas, the acting, and our final thoughts.
Thank you, Shahid. Now I will present the plot summary of Dead Boys Society. The film is set in 1959 at Weltham Academy, and elite all-boys Prince school defined by tradition, strict discipline, and immense pressure on students to conform. Everything changed when a new English teacher, Mr. John Keating, played by Robin Williams, joined the school. Unlike traditional teachers, Mr. Keating introduced his students to the concept of carpe diems or seize the day. He uses unconventional methods such as making students stand on their desks to see things from new perspectives and tearing out boring textbook chapters, encouraging them to think independently. Inspired by Keating, a student named Neil Perry uncovers an old yearbook and discovers that Keating was once part of a secret group called the Dead Boys Society. Neil, along with his roommate Todd Anderson and a few close friends, decide to secretly review the club. They sneak out late at night to a nearby cave to read poetry and express their true thoughts free from school authority. This experience inspires the boys to pursue their real passions. Neil discovers a deep love for acting and lets the lead role in a local play. However, his authoritarian father strictly forbids him from acting, insisting he transfer to a military school to become a doctor. Unable to cope with his father's overwhelming control and feeling hopeless, Neil tragically takes his own life. In the aftermath, the school administration looks for a scapegoat and forces the boys to sign a document falsely blaming Mr. Keating for encouraging rebellion. Keating is dismissed as a result. However, in the famous final scene, as Keating comes to collect his belongings, Todd Anderson stands up and on his desk in defiance of the headmaster. And he is shouting with, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." Half the class joins him, demonstrating that Keating's lesson on courage will stay with them forever. Now, my part is already done. I will hand over to the Mahajapin to discuss the core themes in detail. Thank you.
Let's explore the major themes in Dead Poet Society. The central theme is individualism versus conformity. Mr. Keating urges his students to break away from blind tradition and think independently rather than just conforming to societal expectation. This ties directly into the Latin philosophy of carpe diem, or seize the day. The film presents this not as a call for reckless behavior, but as a reminder to live intentionally while understanding that our choices carry real consequences. Finally, the narrative examines parental and institutional pressure. We see firsthand how rigid, unrealistic expectations from authority figures can suppress a student's happiness, creativity, and personal growth. On slide 8, we look at character dynamics and visual symbolism. Neil Perry and Todd Anderson serve as a powerful character foils. Neil starts out outgoing, passionate, and confident, yet he remains trapped by his father's strict control. In contrast, Todd begins as deeply insecure and quiet, but gradually finds his voice through Mr. Keating's guidance. The film also uses key symbols to reinforce these journeys. Standing on top of the classroom desk symbolizes breaking routine to view life from a fresh perspective. Meanwhile, the cave where the society meets represents a sanctuary of freedom and self-expression and completely free from institutional judgment. Turning to slide 9, the film's emotional weight relies heavily on its outstanding cast. Robin Williams delivers a masterclass performance as John Keating, balancing humor, warmth, and quiet authority. Robert St. Leonard brings deep conviction to Neil Perry, vividly conveying both his artistic passion and tragic emotional strength. Ethan Hawke captures Todd's internal growth, making his transformation feel earned and believable. Lastly, Kurtwood Smith gives a clingingly stern performance as Neil's father, perfectly embodying the rigid pressure that drives the film's central conflict.
Now I am explaining emotional and technical impact of Death Poets Society movie. The film builds towards the emotional power through a series of unforgettable moments. In the primal screen, Keating pushes Todd to spontaneously compose poetry in front of classes, breaking through his paralysis and fear of failure. His trump standing in stark contrast to silent despair, where the painful silence between Neil and his father after opening night reveals and complete breakdown in the communication and foreshadows tragedy. Finally, the farewell delivers a cathartic climax as Todd stands on his desk and unforgettable act of loyalty and tribute that captures the lasting impact Keating had on his studies. This is the end of chapter 4 now.
Conclusion. In the end, this movie shows us that being yourself is more important, even when others wanted to follow the rules. We saw that in this movie, one student he could not become a actor because his parents wanted him to be a doctor. He could not follow his own dreams, and at the end, the movie ended so sadly. But another student thought he shy at first, but become brave and more confident at the end. Our group thinks this movie is a must-watch movie and it's highly recommended for students and parents because it shows how a good teacher can change every student lives. Thank you for watching our presentation.